voted for none of this.
If you promoted and voted for Donald Trump, you voted for this.
Another person shot in an immigration raid. Protest that sprung up here, they've been trying to disperse it by firing pepper bullets and mace and flashbangs.
I was just scolding Nazis for their bad decisions, and then they sprinted after me. And they chased me for blocks. A woman was filming me from her minivan, and I begged her to let me in because I was scared. So I jumped in the back of her minivan, and you know what they did? They came up and they put a gun to her face. They pulled a pistol on her and put a gun to her face. This is not America.
You helped put an administration in power that has sent ICE into Minneapolis, where they're harassing, threatening, and assaulting U.S. citizens, breaking up peaceful protests with mace, tear gas, and other chemicals. You voted for an administration that is now directly responsible for the murders of 3 U.S. citizens, Keith Porter, Renee Good, and Alex Preddy.
Trump administration maintains the agent opened fire to avoid being run over, but the direction of the tires appears to be facing away from the officer.
That's why everybody is sick and tired of grifters like Andrew Schulz, Joe Rogan, and Theo Vaughn, who platformed and promoted Trump. They supported him even when they knew he was lying.
You know, I'm basically a truthful person, but and frankly, no, but frankly, no, but
they traded in whatever authenticity and credibility that they had just to be buddies with Donald Trump and an ally to this administration. But after how bad things have gone in this first year of Trump's second term, no one is shocked or surprised except these celebrities that acted willfully ignorant about who Trump was and what his administration was about.
This image of a 5-year-old boy being detained by ICE is going viral around the world. Liam Conejo Ramos was leaving school when an agent dressed head to foot in black gripped his Spider-Man backpack and escorted him and his dad towards a vehicle. Both are now in ICE custody, likely at a family detention center in Texas.
And honestly, but I'm Jew. Welcome to the channel. Please like and share the video. Don't forget to sub. Now, let's get into it.
All right, let's do it. Let's talk about what happened in Minneapolis. ICE murdered an American citizen in cold blood, and then the Trump administration called him a domestic terrorist.
yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Like plain and simple.
Yeah.
I see the administration trying to spin it, and it's disgusting. Yeah. It's like they didn't even have a moment where they're like, hey, we're reviewing the footage. We're going to try to see what's really happening. All of them, Trump and all the cronies, put out collective statements that immediately blamed an American citizen that was exercising his First and Second Amendment rights.
How quick Greg Pavino and Kristi Noem came out with those responses, which I believe were like side-by-side identical responses.
Here was a couple seconds of that propaganda of them saying the exact same thing.
An individual approached U.S. Border Patrol officers with a 9mm semi-automatic handgun. The officers attempted to disarm this individual, but the armed suspect reacted violently.
Talk about propaganda.
Which was completely against everything that all of us saw when we watched the video of ICE agents attacking him, the woman next to him trying to protect the woman, and then 6-7 ICE agents tackling him and still killing him even though they unarmed him.
Right? He has the right to protest. He has the right to carry a firearm. He's a legal gun owner, right? There's no question about this whatsoever. And the administration immediately comes out and they try to gaslight the public, which you cannot do when we have 15 different videos of what happened.
Yes. It's so hard to take anything Andrew was saying as genuine. Trump is a known pathological liar at this point. It got so bad during his first administration when he would lie about every single thing that channels like CNN would actually have like a lie counter or a fact checker whenever he was talking because his administration lied so much. So for Andrew Schulz that platformed Trump, that called him a liar to his face basically, that knew he was a liar.
I have a hard time doing it to them. Because I'm basically a truthful person, but frankly,
acting shocked that his administration is full of corrupt liars. It's just really hard to take serious. But this is the guy that you platformed and promoted.
And
that is what they do, though.
But that is what they do.
Yeah.
And I think that governments have probably been doing this for centuries.
Every government is probably crooked. Let's just say that, right? Every government, every politician is crooked and lies and can't be trusted. Let's just take that as a fact. Most government lies are like right here. What Trump and his administration does does is up here. Like, it's through the roof of how much they lie and try to enforce this reality distortion field that MAGA is all under. The amount of lying that Trump does is second to none. This man, till this day, is still lying about how big his inauguration was compared to Obama's, when we've all seen the pictures. They are used to being able to say whatever they want, and their MAGA supporters just eat it up without even checking facts.
And now you have a public that is armed with phones, and we can see what actually happened, and you're not going to just lie to us, plain and simple, like that.
Phones and videos have never mattered when black people got killed. So many black people have gotten killed at the hands of police on video at this point that it's just a travesty. I don't even have to go through all the incidents. We can go to Tamir Rice in 2014, who was like a 14-year-old kid playing with the toy gun. White people called the police on him. Police pulled up in the park that he was playing, jumped out and shot him within like 20 seconds. Didn't even give him a chance to talk, to put the toy gun down, to follow directions. Just shot him immediately and killed the kid.
Both conclude that this shooting was unreasonable and unjustified and a complete departure from proper police practices.
Salzman adds the videos are the only pieces of evidence the grand jury has seen so far.
And they got off with absolutely no charges. So murder of unarmed black civilians at the hands of police have never mattered, even when it was caught on camera, which has been done several times. And just like we saw with this federal response to Alex Preddy, getting in front of cameras immediately and calling him a terrorist, that's what they always did to black people when they killed them. Officers would say they were under threat or they were scared for their lives, and they had to kill an unarmed black person. It's nothing new, but this situation is a lot different because Renee Good is a white woman. Alex Preddy is a white man. That's why you still don't hear anything about Keith Porter in the news. You can say because it wasn't caught on camera, but he's also a black dude.
First of all, I know we've had Trump on the podcast. I know there's probably people like you guys are the last ones that I want to hear talk about this. I don't think any of us are having this conversation to like curry any like goodwill or, you know, get people to like us or something like that. This is something that is undeniably abhorrent, and we should be called out. Simple as that.
Yeah. Does Schulz get credit for actually calling this out? Y'all let me know in the comments. I don't think he gets credit for calling this out. You were laughing and grinning with Trump on your podcast during a razor-thin election. How many people did Schulz influence that Trump was cool or he was the man for the job, or definitely vote for Trump instead of that other lady? How many people did he influence with his right-wing grip? Just like Rogan, how many people did Joe Rogan influence? Before he did his right-wing grip, he just seemed like a cool kind of moderate dude. Theo Von, the same thing. And we're probably talking about different generations of fans at this point, right? Joe Rogan is on the older end. Andrew Schulz is probably 30s, early 40s. And then you got Theo Von, who's a younger audience. How many millions of people did these useful idiots influence to support Trump? So I talked myself out of giving him credit just now. No, he don't get no credit. Fuck him.
It's disgusting.
I get the frustration. People are like, oh, but you guys were with him, da-da-da.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I get it.
100%. I get it. Yeah. Again, if you never want to watch another thing again because we have Trump, that is totally fine. Respect it. I completely get it. You're 100% allowed to be frustrated.
We made that decision knowing it was over.
I forgot about Akash over there sitting in the cuck chair. Ever since the drama with his wife happened, he just seems like he shrunk into a smaller and smaller person. Why does he look so tiny right now? He looks like a thumb with
When the criticism, all right, there it is.
No knock on any criticism. That being said, like moving forward, we don't just like stay silent when something has this. Like if we do have a platform, there's people that we're talking to, you know, and we see something that is just so blatant. There's no like partisan bullshit with this. If you see it with your own eyes, you know exactly what happened. And there's something disgusting that's happening, not only in Minneapolis, I'm sure it's happening in other parts of the United States.
The other thing is Schulz came out in, 2 previous episodes and acknowledged how bad Trump is and that he didn't vote for this.
They'll DM me and be like, you see what your boy's doing? You voted for this. I'm like, I voted for none of this. He's doing the exact opposite of everything I voted for. Yeah. I want him to stop the wars. He's funding them. I want him to shrink spending, reduce the budget. He's increasing it. It's like everything that he said he's going to do.
But at no point did he sit down and have a direct conversation. I regret my support of Trump. So again, you criticizing and offering your opinion now, who gives a about that now when you had the opportunity to influence the election?
ICE is... under the guise of security, right? Under the guise of safety, because that's what they're doing, right? Is every time something horrific happens, they keep going, but look at the we got. Look at the murderers we got. Look at all the violent criminals we got. I looked at the numbers. It's 5% of the people they deported are violent criminals.
Yes.
There's probably more in the Oval Office.
Exactly. That's my whole point, right? We knew all about Trump before this election. We knew he was in the Epstein files before this election. Part of his campaign was talking about the Epstein files. So how can we all know that? They're making jokes about that. But again, that's the guy they chose to platform.
If you bring up another about deporting and you're not releasing the Epstein list, just shut the up, all of you.
Yes.
I don't want to hear anything else about, we got to deport the pedophiles. They're right here.
Yeah.
They're right here. They're a list of them, and you're not exposing it. And this is the thing that we've been asking for even before Trump was in office. Point being is you see this act, and then you see ICE and the way that ICE is operating, right? With, masked guys, no name tags.
Gestapo-ish.
I 100%. Like, I heard people bringing it up, and like sometimes people are trying to go like, oh, you're exaggerating. No. You have to understand. It's like you have a government-enforced militia with no accountability.
No accountability, masks, no badges, no ID numbers, phones out. They can record you and put you in the database. But if you record them, you're likely to get shot at this point, or at least threatened and assaulted. MAGA lost the right a long time ago to say, stop calling us Nazis or stop comparing us to Nazis, when they literally have a Gestapo force in U.S. cities harassing, tracking, attacking U.S. citizens.
Inexperience, poor training. Obviously, you saw from this circumstance, no effort to de-escalate. If anything, efforts to escalate.
These ICE agents are very temperamental. They're like high school bullies.
Absolutely. It's absolutely disgusting. And then when you see the administration defend it, you go, well, where will the accountability ever come from?
The Nuremberg trials. That's where this is going to go to. That's the only accountability there will be for the Trump administration and everybody that supported it. Accountability is going to be forced on them once they're out of power. If weak-ass Democrats don't f it up, because they're just horrible at this point. Democrats get on my nerves so much. Stop being weak. Listen to the people. Prioritize the black community, which is your base. And for once, act like Republicans. Do whatever you got to do for the betterment of the country. Because once Republicans are in power, they do whatever they got to do to make sure that their policies are enforced.
This is a government-enforced agency, and the government is backing them immediately without even reviewing the tapes. So you have guys that you don't know their names, you don't know what they look like. The government is backing with impunity. What do you think is going to happen? More of this is going to happen. They're doing things that objectively, I don't care which side of the aisle you're on, objectively are unconstitutional. So no matter which side of the aisle on, you would like to uphold the Constitution a little bit, right? Like you can't go enter someone's home without a warrant, and not some like federal administrative bullshit warrant that they're trying to like skirt around it.
Yeah.
You cannot enter someone's home without an actual warrant. I think it's like the
Judicial Amendment,
It's the Fourth Amendment.
Yeah,
yeah, exactly.
The First Amendment, the right to protest, peacefully gather, and challenge your government. It looks like a war zone right now because any of those citizens that try to peacefully protest are then threatened and assaulted by ICE. They're shot with tear gas, mace. This entire administration has been wiping its ass with the rules, with laws, but now the actual Constitution.
So it's like, and they're just entering homes. Dude, I saw them arrest somebody for having an accent. And the ICE agent that arrested him
had an accent.
Yeah,
that was actually a funny video. Dude was like, but you have an accent.
Why are you asking me for my paperwork? Because of your accent. You have an accent too. Where were you born, sir? Where were you born at? Put your hands behind your back.
See that video? And the guy was like, you got an accent too.
Where are you from?
Exactly. And it was just like, you're seeing these, obviously you've heard of the situation of them deporting legal residents.
Yep.
Like we, at a certain point in time, and I think this is why there is zero support for this. I think it's important to speak up because I've spoken to a lot of people who are seeing it and they think it's abhorrent. And they go, I don't know if I feel comfortable talking about it. I don't know if they feel like exposure to Trump or whatever like that. I think those are the moments where you got to speak up, especially. Because
you see how Trump moves. It's like, hey, you speak up, you're out.
All right, then you're out. Talking about regular people that were sympathetic to, some of the immigration reform that Trump was talking about, and then are realizing, no, this is not what they wanted at all. And now they're just kind of quiet because they're worried about like getting licks or getting public lashings or criticism on the internet.
I'm conflicted again because he is using his platform to call this out. He doesn't have to, but also he platformed Trump and promoted him. So I'm back to him again.
And anybody who wants to criticize us for platforming, 100%, that is fair, 100%. But that doesn't mean you just stay quiet. Like if you see something that you look at and you're like, I don't think this is America that I want to live in, and which is the sentiment of everybody right now. There are a few like ideologues in the internet that are trying to defend this. I'm sure you guys have seen.
Yeah.
But I think the majority of Americans are looking at this and they're going, this is not a country that we believe that we are. And we can't continue to support stuff like this. And I think it's important to talk about it.
So I'm just going to give you pushback. I don't think the criticism that we're getting for having Trump on is fair because one, we've had people from both sides of the aisle on, and it's like, we've never been a podcast that's like, hey, you should listen and do what we say or tell you to do.
That's not how that works. That's not how influence works. They had Trump on leading up to the election. They had a soft, fun podcast interaction conversation with them, didn't ask him anything about policy, normalized him, made him seem fun, charismatic, like he was the guy to vote for. So I'm sure there was a ton of their audience that was younger, maybe it was their first time voting, maybe they didn't know too much about policies, and they're just gonna vote however the people they look up to vote. And they saw Trump on this podcast, was like, all right, he seems cool enough, I'll vote for him. They absolutely deserve criticism for platforming Trump.
Yes, curious guys who wanted to have a conversation with the guy running for office, running for presidency. We wanted to have Kamala on as well. So it's like that criticism, I don't think it's fair because we had him on and now they're like, oh, everything bad he's doing, we're attributing that to you just because you had him on. And I don't think that's fair at all. Because that's not what you wanted. If he came in here and said like, oh, hey, we're going to forcefully remove all.
They did not ask him any serious questions during their episode. They did not press him about anything. They didn't ask him about his charges, his convictions, his felonies. They didn't ask him about any of the essay accusations.
Non-independent media. And they were like, well, Trump is going on these podcasts to kind of whitewash his reputation and basically to not face like, quote, tough journalistic questions.
Yeah, it just depends what your expectation of journalism is. If you're in front of me, I'm going to ask you the things that I'm curious about. People are like, why don't you ask him about Epstein? I'm like, oh, so he can give the same fucking answer he's given for the last 2 decades?
These illegal immigrants, the way that they're doing it, we wouldn't be for that. And it would have been a lot of pushback.
I mean, we specifically pushed back. I specifically told them, I was like, dude, you hired illegals. You know, like I was taken care of by illegals. Like, let's have a pathway to citizenship. Let's have some empathy. And he's like, we're going after the criminals. And maybe I naively believed that he would do that. But it's very clear, like just by the numbers, that that's not what's happening. And they're using this bullshit of like, we want to make sure you guys are safe and secure. How is this more safe? Immediate knee-jerk reaction. It was like a group text went out like, hey, show strength.
That is exactly what happened. A group signal text went out. Guarantee you.
Yeah, it's the blue wall, but from a federal perspective where they're just looking out for their people no matter what, doesn't matter what atrocity they committed. Again, which black people are used to. Whenever an unarmed black person is shot, they're immediately criminalized. They take the worst picture of theirs and put on the news. Black people are used to this knee-jerk, blue wall, protect our people no matter what the truth is thing.
You would hope that there's going to be some type of fair third-party investigation and holding people accountable, right?
The grossest part of the Trump
that's what you want to happen.
That's what you want to happen.
The grossest
we've
part of
seen his first administration. He doesn't like being held accountable for anything.
Oh, so they did see the first administration. They did know what Trump was about. So why platform him? Don't act surprised now. Shut the up. And I'm not alone in the way I feel about Schulz and the Flagrant podcast. If you normalize Trump, said he was based and helped him get elected just a year ago, shut the up forever. We don't want to hear from you. All these dudes 18 months ago. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You can't be grinning and laughing that hard and saying you didn't normalize a guy and promote him to your audience when that's 100% what that episode was about. This dumbass voted for Trump, supported him, and platformed him, and did it to attract his base and get rich. Andrew Schulz. I don't want to hear from Andrew Schulz or Joe Rogan or Theo Vaughn. Y'all thought he was so cool when y'all were licking his boots. I don't want to hear it. I can't lie. I almost popped a blood vessel trying to get through that podcast. I think Andrew Schulz and Flagrant deserve all the smoke and criticism they're getting. I don't care how much they try to downplay their influence or their role in promoting Trump. Do I think it's good that Schulz is using his platform to now call out what ICE is doing? Sure, but that doesn't take away the damage that the Flagrant podcast did by promoting Trump in the first place. Shout out to my channel members. Thank you so much for supporting, and thanks for watching. Y'all let me know what you think about all this in the comments. Also, make sure you check out the next video, and don't forget to follow me on Instagram for behind the scenes and life stuff, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.